Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Dear friends, it's a matter of great pleasure that we've been able to publish and print the English translation of Ustaz Javed Ahmad Ghamidi's monumental book Meezan. Its English translation entitled Islam, A Comprehensive Introduction, which is the book which you see in your screen. It has now been published and printed in India, alhamdulillah, and we have managed to do it. And the book is now available on Amazon India for those people who are interested in getting this book and reading it. They can now go to Amazon India. The link is given in the description below this video. And for those who want to purchase in the rest of the world, the links are also provided in the description below. So this is a very monumental book. The Urdu Meezan, the original, was already published by us in January, and it is also available on Amazon India. So I'll briefly give you an overview of this work by Ustaz Javed Ahmad Ghamidi and an overview of the contents of this particular book. So he starts this book by discussing the fundamental principles of approaching Islam, and in that he first delineates the sources of Islam, the two main sources, the Quran and the Sunnah, and then the subsidiary source, which is Hadith. So he talks about the principles of understanding the Quran, he talks about principles of determining the Sunnah, and he talks about principles of understanding the Hadith. So this is the first preamble, the first chapter, you can say, of the book, and then the author moves on to discuss the true religion, the concept of religion which he has as he has understood it, and the title of this is The True Religion, Deen al-Haq in the original, Deen-e-Haq, and in it he talks about the essence of religion, the definition of religion, the contents of religion, what are prophets and messengers, purpose of divine books, the responsibility of inzar, talks about a lot of other things, the objective of religion, the correct religious attitude. Then he goes on to talk about the portion of the book which he has titled Al-Hikmah. And Al-Hikmah, in his understanding, means, which when the Quran uses the word Al-Kitab and Al-Hikmah, Al-Hikmah in his opinion refers to the aspect, the part of religion dealing with metaphysics and ethics, or beliefs and morality. So Al-Hikmah, under Al-Hikmah he has discussed faith and beliefs, belief in God and angels and prophets and books and messengers and the last day, etc., the hereafter. And then he talks about the second chapter of this part is about morals and morality. He discusses some fundamental issues relating to moral philosophy, and then he goes on to explain moral standards like worshipping God, treating parents with kindness, etc. He talks about the pinnacle of morality, and the chapter then concludes with a lot of moral virtues which a believer is expected to a believer is expected to take on these virtues and to adopt them in his and her life. Then the second part of the book is Al-Kitab, which is the law portion of religion, the portion of religion dealing with law, rights, regulations and rituals. And it starts with a chapter on dealing with the Sharia of worship rituals, the prayer, of course, the Salah, Namaz, and then he goes on to Zakat and Hajj, fasting and Hajj, and Umrah, and it ends with the discussion on animal sacrifice, the history and the objective of animal sacrifice, and the Sharia of animal sacrifice. The second chapter is about the social Sharia, which deals with nikah, that's marriage, and its related topics, divorce, the conditions, rights and conditions of the spouses, polygamy. It deals with norms of gender interaction between men and women, and then the third chapter in this part is the political Sharia. He talks about the economic Sharia, and then he talks about the Sharia of preaching, which is dawah, And in economic Sharia, he talks about the usurpation of wealth, gambling interest, national assets. He talks about documentation and evidence, and of course the distribution of inheritance. In the Sharia of preaching, that is the Qanun-e-Dawat, which is the chapter in Meezan, he talks about the preaching obligation of the prophets, how the prophets call people towards religion. He talks about the preaching obligation of Abraham's progeny. He talks about the preaching obligation of the scholars, of the rulers, and an individual, and all of these are different in some sense and common in some sense. They share some similarities and differences. And then he talks about the strategy of preaching and dawah, of course. The 6th chapter is the Sharia of Jihad, and it's a very hot topic. I mean, people discuss it. What is jihad? A lot of people are confused about it, the traditional definition, the traditional understanding of jihad, and in it the author has presented his own understanding based on the Quran, the Sunnah, and the Hadith. The 7th chapter deals with the penal Sharia, which is the Sharia concerning crimes and their punishment. And he talks about muharaba, certain crimes that cause anarchy and disorder and mischief on this earth, and the punishment of those crimes. Then he talks of murder and injury, intentional murder, unintentional. He talks about fornication, qazaf, and theft. And the 8th chapter deals with the dietary Sharia, what we are supposed to eat and what we are supposed to abstain from. And the 9th chapter deals with Islamic customs and etiquette. And the 10th chapter finally deals with oaths and their atonement, qasam and kafara-e-qasam. And then there is an epilogue and bibliography. So that's a very brief overview of the book. So the book is now available on Amazon India. You can purchase it from there and also share it with your friends who are interested in reading his works. And we'll be publishing more of his books like Maqamat and Burhan, selected essays of Javed Ahmad Ghamidi in the coming months, inshallah. So take care and stay connected to this channel and subscribe to our channel. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. السلام عليكم.